All right, welcome to New 37, Simplifying Square Roots. Now we are going to look at the variable piece of this before we put it all together. So let's start. All right, so when we look at this, the first one is just kind of the definition of it. When we talk about solving equations, old school, back at the beginning of this, the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction then is addition. The opposite of multiplication is division, and then division, multiplication. The opposite of a square is a square root, and the opposite of square root is a square. So if you look at number 1 then, okay, when you have a square and a square root together, they actually will cancel out, leaving you with just x. So the key here is for every pair of x's, okay, that you take the square root of, you get 1. Okay, and the way I kind of like to think about it is, you have 2 people and they make 1 couple, right? So 2 people, 1 couple. 2 people in there, 1 couple outside. So if you look at number 2, the way I think about, this one is, this is almost like your third wheel situation. You have 1 couple, and then you have the third wheel. Now, if you want to think about it like this, like I've always, this is the example I always give my kids. The square root is almost, it's like a jail, okay? So you can only get out of jail with good behavior, okay? Or think of it, if you have kids, like think of it like timeout, okay? You can only get, but timeout, with kids, it's a little bit harder of an example because you let your kids out of timeout usually within 1 or 2 or maybe 3 minutes, depending on how old they are. But with jail, like you get out on good behavior. So, you could be released early if you exhibit certain whatever behaviors or certain goals or whatever, you hit certain marks and they let you out. If you're escaping jail, okay, and this would probably be a better explanation for like live when I can see you guys. If you're escaping jail, you can only do that with a partner, and the third, any odd man out gets left behind. Okay, so you always need a partner, somebody to look out for you. Anyone who doesn't have a lookout gets left behind. So you want to think about it like, here's my 1 partner or my 1 couple, and then here's my extra. Now together they would add up to 3, right? Because here's 1, 2, and then here's my third one. Okay. Like we said in number 1, these cancel just to leave me with an X. And then this guy is stuck. He's the one that gets left in jail. So these escape. See them escaping the actual bars. The bars go away. So they're on the outside now. He is on the inside. So there's a difference between being on the outside and the inside. Once you're on the outside, you don't want to go back in. If you're on the inside, you have to stay on the inside. So this, the square root of x to the third would simplify to x root x. Okay? The x on the outside actually represents a couple. It represents 2 x's on the inside. And the way I like to think about this, if I'm going, totally in on my metaphor, is, once you escape with somebody as that couple, Bonnie and Clyde style, you have to stick together on the outside, because if you don't, if you split up, then you'll get caught, right? So you're this bonded couple that's been through something together, and you have to stick together, at least in theory, of not snitching on each other. Okay, so if we look at number 3, okay, this is 2 couples. Here's 2 of them, and here's 2 others. So this pair comes out as a couple, that pair comes out as a couple, so you actually have x squared, right, because you have x times x, and that gives you x squared. All right, what about number 4, x to the 5th? So now you have, there's one couple escaping, there's the other couple escaping, but now this guy doesn't have a lookout. So what happens to the one without the lookout? They always get left behind, they get caught. So that couple escapes, that couple escapes, this person does not escape. Okay, and so it's x squared root x. The other way to look at it, and I think I did it this way on some of my independents, you can look at it as, if you're kind of used to that idea, then you can say x to the 4th root x, right? Because you're just taking that one extra person out of it. And then what are you doing? Well, if you have 4 people, how many couples can you make out of that? You can make 2 couples. You're always cutting that number in half. So that's x squared and then root x. Same answer here. Okay. Number 5. So I'm going to split these because I have different letters here. So I'm going to do j to the 2nd. And then k to the 3rd. So j to the 2nd, that's easy. That's just 2 people trying to get out from behind bars. All right, 2 people come out as one couple. So again, that same theory works because I'm just cutting the number in half. 2 cut in half turns to a, just a 1, out, right? Escaped. Now, 3, that leaves me with that odd man out, right? So I have the couple and the lookout. Lookout gets left behind. Couple comes out. So I have jk root k. All right. Number 6, I immediately know that no one's getting left behind because I have all even numbers. I'm still going to split them because anytime I have multiple letters, I don't want things to get messy. But now let's try it without, let's try it just using what I know. If I have 4 people, if I have 4 people, how many couples can that make? Well, that can make 2 couples, so a to the 2nd. And if I have 6 people, how many couples can that make? That can make 3 couples. So I have a to the 2nd, b to the 3rd. And let's look at the next page. All right. So now I know that somebody is going to get left behind, and it's going to be in my z. So I have x to the 8th, z to the 5th. So I know with 8 people, I know I'm immediately going to x to the 4th. Cutting that in half, I can make 4 couples. Now this one, I know I'm z to the 4th, and then that extra z. Because I just drop it one less to make an even number, and then I have that lookout. So that z to the 4th becomes z squared, and then my lookout stays stuck. So now bringing it back all together, I have x to the 4th, z to the 2nd, root z, and I'm all done. Number 8, again, I know that I'm leaving somebody out, or somebody in, I should say. I'm gonna leave somebody behind because I have that b to the 9th, which is an odd number. So I have a to the 10th, b to the 9th. A to the 10th is going to turn into a to the 5th because 10 people make 5 couples. B to the 9th, I'm going to write as b to the 8th, root b. Right? Root b to the 8th and root b. If I have 8 people, which is b to the 8th, then I know I'm coming out as 4 couples, and I'm leaving my lookout behind. So putting that all together, I have a to the 5th, b to the 4th, root b. All right, number 9. Definitely leaving people behind because I have all odd numbers. So I have x to the 21st, y to the 7th, z. So x I'm writing as x to the 20th, root x. Y I'm writing as root y to the 6th, root y. And just root z has to follow me down. Okay, so 20 x's become 10 couples, and I have a root x to deal with. 6 y's become 3 couples, and I have a y to deal with. And then the z left behind. So if I have all the stuff coming out, it's x to the 10th, y to the 3rd. And then all the stuff left inside of the parenthesis, or the square root, is x, y, z. So my final answer is x to the 10th, y to the 3rd, root x, y, z. Now on the flip side, number 10, everything is even. So I'm leaving nothing behind. I'm going to split it, c to the 18th, b to the 14th, a to the 16th. 18 people make 9 couples, 14 people make 7 couples, and 16 people make 8 couples. So I have c to the 9th, b to the 7th, a to the 8th. And I'm all done. All right, next one, we're going to put it all together, and then we'll be moving on. See you then.